Hello people, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. Guys, I hope you are well. I was hoping to do this particular video with Lara, but unfortunately her internet connection is somewhat unstable, and because of that I decided to do this particular video by myself. However, some of the thoughts that I'm going to suggest to you I got directly from her. So the purpose of this particular video is simply this. I want to give you guys a visual understanding of how abuse can and may affect the cognitive processes in one's mind. I want to illustrate this in terms of how it's affected myself. You might notice when you speak to someone who's been in a toxic or a corrosive relationship that once they break away from that, a lot of things change. The way they talk changes. The way they understand things, that changes. What they do in order to protect themselves from further abuse, that gets implemented and might evolve over time. Now, from Lara's perspective, what we spoke about briefly yesterday when we discovered that her internet connection was pretty poor, was that by the age of, when you were born to 7, your tabula blanca gets written with beliefs and rituals, family culture, and these kind of things. And it's good, it functions, it's got a purpose. But as you get older and you are the victim of a toxic or a corrosive relationship, those belief systems alter somewhat. And in some cases, they alter quite a lot. And that is the danger when it comes down to abuse, particularly if you're the victim, because you don't realize it's happening. You only realize it when you break free from it. So this is what I want to show you. I've got some colored pens. So let me turn the right way around. I've got some colored pens here. Green, purple, blue, and black. I want to show you my observations at least. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to just draw, say, for argument's sake, a couple of junction boxes. So on this one I'm going to write pre-abuse, and this one is post-abuse, before, after. So you get your junction box, and how it works is like this. You get your wire that goes in there. Let's pretend the blue one goes there. The green goes there. And finally, the purple goes there. And when these wires are connected up in the way that they should be, when any kind of stimulus comes this way, it goes through the beliefs, the rituals, the understanding, this filter. Let's just put filter here. Goes through the filter, and here when it comes out as being good, right, proper, and so on. And then in my case, and you'll probably find that you know someone who's had very similar experiences, what might happen is simply this. instead of the black going from there, what happens now is the black might go there. Okay? The blue, instead of going there like this, the blue might go there like that. The green, instead of going that way, the green might also, for argument's sake, go that way. And then finally, let's pretend that the purple, hang on, I have the wrong color here, the purple is wired correctly. So what happens now is, same information comes through, and this one filters to be how we understand and we function. What happens here now is, because these wires are not in the right place, now things are confusing, there's misunderstanding, now there's doubt, and various other bits and pieces. You might even find anger in there. Certainly you will find disbelief, for sure. Because when this happens, what generally happens is people will go, oh, hang on, this doesn't make any sense. This information here doesn't make any sense. When I was here, it did make sense. But now, because I've been abused, what happens now is there needs to be some kind of safeguarding that takes place. I hope you can see that. Right? There's some kind of safeguarding that needs to take place. So what happens here is you'll say, I didn't quite understand the information here. Right? There's info. Didn't understand it. Can you please explain it? So the person tries again, and you might still not understand it. Or you'll go, or in my case, I'd say, what happens then? What's supposed to happen after that? And what I find I get is simply this. I ask for a 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 steps. And I work out, this happens first, then that, I get that bit, then I should expect that, and I get that, this should follow, and then 5 should be the result. Because this is like this. But what happens over here is, it might go 2, 4, 1, 3, 6, 5. And then what I go is, that's not supposed to happen first. Why has that happened third? What's this? Don't understand that. 5 is kind of in the right place, but all these other things are in the wrong place because it's understood incorrectly. What I try and get people to understand is, whilst this is how people's brain understands things, trying to get it back into here is very difficult because the wiring is the wrong way around. So when you're speaking to people who've been abused and they're asking for a systematic order, it is because they are trying to safeguard themselves from further abuse. Because they don't want to be confused. because the wiring is a little bit in the wrong place. They're trying to avoid misunderstandings, not necessarily from you, but from them. Doubt, anger, disbelief, distrust, these kind of things happen when that's what's been asked for, and when that happens, because the filter isn't firing in the right way. So I'm asking, when you experience people who are asking what seems like silly questions to explain things in a very orderly manner, chances are they're not being funny, they're not being awkward. They're just trying to understand things, so that they know what's going to happen first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. Because when this happens, there's going to be a distance between you and them. And then there's problems. An abused person will understand what this is all about. Someone who's never been abused can only understand this. They will never understand that. For sure, they will never understand that the abused person is trying to safeguard themselves from further abuse, because it doesn't make sense. A non-abused person doesn't quite get the devastation of abuse when this kind of thing happens. I often refer to it, there's no resonance, there's no reference point that says up until that point things were okay, but beyond that things dramatically changed here. So when you speak to people who've been abused, take your time. Ask them if they understand. Because we try to do this. Because it's coming to us all scrambled. We're just trying to make sense of what's going on in a systematic and orderly manner. It helps us when we get things right and we know what's happening next. Because the minute this kind of thing happens, number 2 comes first, then 4, then 1. The first thing that happens is trying to abuse us again. You're creating doubt. I can't trust you now because you're not telling me things in the right order. You're not giving me all the information that I've asked. Albeit that it might come through, but something's gone missing. Because the filter has been completely twisted and mashed up. It's a horrible feeling. Very bad. It's not nice. When intellectually, this bit here, easily understood, but because of abuse, because of how it changes the mind and the brain, this happens. I am yet to meet anybody that says they understand that when they've not been abused. And yet I'm trying to find people on ways to explain that so it makes sense like this. When you've been abused, you'll appreciate that, this bit here, and how we long to be back here. Well, this is better, but this is what we've got to deal with. The same applies if you consider people who've had a heart attack, a stroke, Alzheimer's, any kind of thing like this, a cancer survivor. It's similar. The outlook in life might have been all orderly and fashioned and understood. But then when they've been abused, everything changes. Maybe not like this. But what they might now say is, well, it's like this, but now I'm really going to focus on this one. I want to get my life order as far as that's concerned. This one's okay, but I'll tell you what, this one here, whatever that issue is. I'm really going to work hard on this. And for those kind of folks, you always find out, I'm going to laugh more. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to do the things I want. Where before, it's taken for granted. And in many ways, I wish I was still there. But I'm not. I have to deal with this. Horrible. I hope this has made a little bit of sense, particularly when you're speaking to people who are here. And we're just trying to make sense of things over here. I would like to hear your thoughts. Maybe you know someone who, because of abuse, has got this scrambled way of thinking because of abuse. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. How we long to be here. But this is now our camping place. There it is. I hope it's made sense. If you understand things, great. If you don't, comments in the comments box. And we'll try to explain it again in another way. So whatever your thoughts are, please do the YouTube admin. Comments, like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell, pick call. Please tell all your friends and family. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.